This video was meant to be uploaded to the Drunken Donkey, but I got a strike on that one for alleged hate speech, even though I'm pretty sure I put a filter on, and there's a lot worse stuff, right, running around YouTube. For instance, Sneeko and all the various other YouTube personalities who don't seem to have much of a filter and just flap their lips, and I don't know, the algorithm decides it's acceptable somehow. But anyways, enough about that. I had my midterm break. It's the last day of midterm break. It's the 9th day. 8 days just pretty much went by in the snap of the finger. Although, to be fair, doesn't really matter what I do. Even when I was in school, right? Like I'd be doing a lab and I'd be doing my work, and then next thing you know, next thing you know, the lab's over. It's already been, 2, 3 hours, and it's like, what the fuck? That felt like 15 minutes. But what can I say? What can I do? Nothing. I'm not looking forward to going back to school, primarily because I'm not good at the hands-on stuff, but I don't have a fucking choice. I just got to get shit on, right? Because that's how it works. Oh, we know what's best for you. We know, you better than yourself. Wow. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being so helpful. Screw you. That's what I say. That's how it works. Society, in its own way, pretty much decides for you what your job should be, and if it doesn't decide for you, it'll be pretty good at showing you what you suck at. Even though they, give that generic blue pill crap of, oh, if you just work hard, you can achieve your dreams and do anything you want. And it's like, come on, guys. This is based on the assumption that we're all like middle class suburbanites with like loving families, and everybody's like, I don't know, able to afford a vacation a year to the Bahamas in the summer once. Like, really? Really? I mean, I understand, right? It's a factory model. It's an industrial factory model. Put the kids in school, teach them what they need to do, put them out, get them to work, get them, I don't know, boosting that GDP, paying those taxes, and not talking back. And when they do talk back, let them rant, let them get mad, or bitch moan, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Nothing will change. Let them cast their votes, on those little paper ballots, and we'll just elect the same guy or someone with slightly different ideas. But at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to change much at all. So, yeah, this is working great, right? There's, I guess you could say, there's like 3 levels, right? Levels 1 and 2, you you give them the hope that if they just get lucky, that if they just take more jobs, work longer hours, that they'll be able to achieve the dream, so to speak, right? And you basically grill it into them that they need to get a fancy degree and they need to just grind like nothing else, because if they don't, then they're lazy and, they're just bums waiting for handouts. For level 3, you say the same thing, but you tone it down a bit more. And instead, for these people, you try to encourage them to, for level 3, you try to encourage them to do the same shit as level 1 and 2, but not necessarily to get better, to improve, more so to, hey, do you want to be able to afford that giant boat for fishing? Well, work hard, study hard, right? Listen to your boss. Make sure your taxes are done on time. And, if you just save up for a little bit, someday you're going to get the biggest sailboat on the market. Like, that one boat, it's like $60,000. Yeah, you're going to be able to afford that someday if you just sacrifice the next 10, 20 years of your life. For people on level 4, I don't know, but I'm guessing they want to leave a good legacy, right? They want to make sure their kids can get rich, and they probably also want to expand their portfolios, right? They want to boost their wealth. They want to join the ranks of the people on level 5. Level 5, I guess you would call them the establishment, the power hierarchy, right? These are the guys that have been up there for a long time. A lot of them have old family connections, right? Or they got there through a mixture of backstabbing and shady work practices and capitalizing on trends and also actually busting their asses. But, they've been up there so long, they don't know anything else. And they want more. They want to expand too, but, they have so much money, they will never be able to spend it as long as they live. So if they can't, get more money, or if getting more money doesn't really make a difference, right? What do they do next? Power, right? That's why I'm calling it the power hierarchy, because then they want more power from the 4 levels below them. So then their actions start trickling down to level 4, 3, 2, 1. And to make sure that nobody, you know, figures out, hey, these guys on level 5 are kind of being dicks. You get level 3 to spit on level 2 and 1. You get level 2 to spit on level 1. You get level 1 to resent all the levels above them. You get level 4 to, I don't know, look down on or try to control level 3, right? Everybody's fighting each other, and level 5 just sitting there, raking in the profits, laughing their asses off, subtly growing their power base, their influence. And because the changes they make are so small and so gradual, and because levels 1, 2, and 3 especially are, normally too busy, nowadays, very much so, right? Worrying about bills and inflation, and this is too expensive, and that's too expensive, and that's too cheap, but it's the only thing I can afford, right? So, they're not going to fight back. And like I said, they're already riled up, trying to rip each other's tails off, so to speak. So level 5 is pretty entrenched, and they're not going to be challenged. Even if they are challenged, it's going to be vague. It's going to be virtue signaling. It's going to be an empty gesture, right? Like all those climate marches, and then people leave a ton of trash, including Starbucks coffee cups on the ground. It's like, what? And also, right when things seem to be going well, right? Looking at the current political situation, everybody's like, oh, Mr. I won't mention his name because I don't want to get censored again. Although maybe YouTube will censor me, once more for this crap. But a certain powerful president, he was arguing with another famous president, and everybody's like, oh, the powerful president guy is going to fix everything, and we're on our way to greatness. And I have no idea what they're saying in there. I mean, for any of you who are, Yankees, you can probably tell me in the comments. Right? Oh, everything's gonna be fine. We're finally making progress. We're getting our shit together. Or, I don't know. I have no idea what those people say. Right. You do realize something very similar happened in the 30s, specifically 1938 or so, when Neville Chamberlain, he gave his famous "Peace in Our Time" speech. He was holding up that little agreement he signed with Mustache Man, and then Mustache Man took the Sudetenland, and then Mustache Man took the rest of Czechoslovakia, and then a year later, maybe not even a year later, in 1939, boom. So much for peace in our time. I think the same situation applies now. Life loves to pull the rug from under people, like everybody. For, people like us, black pillars, right on the lower rungs, it pretty much pulls the rug out from underneath us like every other day, if not daily. But life will pull the rug out from under you no matter who you are. Just depends on how well you're able to weather it. That's what'll happen. Right? Things seem to be going well, quote unquote, and then, oh shit, we're fighting these guys. Oh crap. Oh no, our economy is tanking because we did this to this nation that manufactures a ton of stuff. Or oh no, this disease is spreading and hurting the livestock, and I don't know, just too much stuff. Just, you know what I mean, right? Like It's basically Mouse Utopia where we're living in, and we're about like 4 inches away from like the Mouse Utopia totally collapsing as it did in the experiment. My guess is pretty soon we're gonna instantly jump down, like, well, not jump down. We're instantly gonna move forward 3 or 2 inches. So we'll be about 1 or 2 inches away from total just boom. We probably won't totally, collapse. We'll, stay at like an inch or two away from it. And then we'll just be in an uncomfortable limbo state where the modern 21st century mind can't comprehend, and then things get fucked anyway because people are used to a certain standard of living. And then they riot. And then we act like the animals that we are and cause a mess, and I don't know. Something happens. I don't know. I'm not a historian. But that's pretty much it. We're all essentially waiting for the House of Cards to finally fall to pieces, right? Like people, or should I say events, right? They keep pulling cards out from inside the house, but like I guess the power hierarchy somehow continues finding ways to, I don't know, using a bunch of tape to make sure the House of Cards stands. But eventually we're going to get to like 2 or 3 cards, and no amount of tape is going to save that house, and it's going to just flatten. It's going to fall onto the table, and boom, we're done. But until then, it's just like, hey, put some flex tape on that leak, and oh, another leak springs. Put some more flex tape on it, and oh, now there's 10 leaks. Fucking cover the container in flex tape until there's no more glass. It's just a bunch of flex tape holding water in, like holding the water in, and then suddenly the flex tape fails, and poof, water splashes everywhere. I'm making a lot of analogies. You probably think like, what the fuck is going on? But in the meantime, we'll just do our shit. I didn't do much this break. I did mostly just GPTing and playing Call of War and walking the same routes I've walked a million times the first 6 or 7 days. I mean, it was always going to be this way. I don't really have the resources to do shit anymore. It's kind of watching some old reels, some old socials reels of some people I follow on, what they did in 2020 during the cough, and I wasn't like a kid then, but I was younger, and I didn't think about as much shit as I do now. So, just that was kind of nice, just being ignorant, not knowing shit. Now I do know shit, and it's like, wow, I'm more aware of how much I suck. That's great. It's like, okay, so what about these other people? They didn't know stuff either. How come, they're happy and, all that? I don't know. Their starting circumstances were better. Maybe they were just a little bit more mature than I was. I don't know. They got connections. They know people. They look better. I have no idea. They probably just got fucking lucky and I didn't. What am I going to do about it? It's too late to go back in time and change everything. And I can't go back in time anyway. That shit doesn't exist. So all I can do is watch. Watch as the world moves on and I stand still here in my little corner on my chair with my dunce cap, just watching. Like, hey, can I join? And it's like, no, you can't. You suck. Wow, what a great feeling. What a great feeling. It's basically like I wanted to ride a horse across a steppe, but instead I get plopped on an assembly line making pencils. That's the best analogy I can think of. And it's a really hot, cramped assembly line. And I get paid $5 for 10 hours of work. That's pretty much it. That's my life. I mean, obviously, I'm not like living in a war zone or, I still have access to clean water or anything, but it can always be worse. Okay, I'm not comparing myself to those people. I'm comparing myself to everybody around me. Humans, you know, compare themselves against what they know, what they actually know, what they have personally known, not something like far away. It's just how the human brain works. I don't even know. I sound like I'm arguing with myself. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't want to go back to school. I talked to Fred. He doesn't want to go back to work. I was on social today, and this one person I follow, they were on vacation, and she was like, oh, I'm missing this already. And I'm like, nobody wants to do this shit. Nobody wants to do this shit. I mean, okay, some people do, but most of us don't want to. Most of us just want to have fun, have some peace, goof around with the homies, goof around with the boys. Homies sounds just sounds cringe as shit. Sounds stupid. We want to hang around with the boys, right? And, not have to worry about a million, bazillion, gajillion things. And not have to pretend and rely on false hope, but, oh well. What else have we got? A fairy fucking godmother? Yeah, this is pretty much the Imperium of Man. The only difference is that, the standard of living is higher, and the scientific understanding is better, and the level of technology is obviously far superior and also inferior in some aspects because it's Warhammer 40k. But the vibe is the same, just stagnation and slow decline, and only a few of us know that the God Emperor is really just a corpse on life support, but everybody else thinks he's divine. So, yeah, okay, sure, he's the God Emperor. Yeah, okay, let's all worship him, even if he's dead and useless. And it's like heresy, heresy. That's kind of the blue pill in a way. Heresy. Sometimes it feels like I'm Gilliman, Rabute Gilliman. I'm just like, why am I doing this? What's the point? Why? Why? We should have just let Horus deal with all of us, and instead we're perpetuating this endless bloated rot, this carcass. Why? And the Emperor's response to him and Laura was, only in death does duty end, except, instead of accepting, Gilliman's like, bitch, you brought me back from death. Okay? You're never going to let me die. My duty will never end. Screw you. Yeah, the only things I enjoy now are making stupid jokes and drinking soda and sleeping. Anyways, I should probably go write my homework and stuff, and I don't know, man, just amazing to see how we've all changed, as in me and, the people around me, right? Just either you watch your dreams get shattered into a million pieces, or you eventually start indulging a ton in hedonistic pleasures and turn into another consumer. Those are the two options. What a life.